up, nation? My last video on immunity and the pure air, water and food, fitness model and all that went long, so this is kind of a caboose for that. So I'm going to get right to it. What I was talking about, wanted to say is priority, if not as important, close to it as your firearms, defensive firearms. Insect netting, like if you have a boonie or whatever you're wearing on your head, get one of those. I got one that slips over the top of your head, and it'll keep mosquitoes and biting insects from biting you. And if they've already bitten somebody who's contagious from a superbug, you know that nothing else is really going to matter, not for long anyway. And also the gas mask, absolutely essential. I don't know why it's not such a high priority in so many videos. That's right there with the netting to keep biting bugs out. You got to have a gas mask, you got to have filters, and you have to have a chem suit. Now if you're like me, I can't find one to fit me, so you can go with the option, I would think, if you have to, Wolverine brand. I prefer Carhartt heavy duty work clothes. I forget what you call the things that are connected, the top and the bottom, maybe something like that, if you can fit it in. Anything to be a barrier against that a bug couldn't bite through, or that'll keep radioactive material off of you, chemicals off of you, and biological agents off of you. And on that note, I remember a while back, it may have been a year or two ago, I was watching a video from Southern Prepper 1, and it was impressive because you rarely see people pull out a chem suit and a gas mask, and I think he had gloves and boot covers too for him and his family. And I thought that's one of the two things out of all his videos that stuck with me. But he said he didn't think it was much of a threat, which I completely disagree with. I don't see how you can say it's not much of a threat when it's already taking place right now. You got Fukushima, you got Chernobyl, and a lot of people don't even think about it, but we dumped tons. I don't know how much, but it had to be a lot of depleted uranium arsenal on Iraq. And that's that stuff gets up in the atmosphere. That's why I think our soldiers have these conditions and sicknesses and all that nobody can seem to figure out. So there's a lot of radioactive material already, and it could get worse. It could be suitcase nukes. I think the Soviets buried them in our country, and we buried them in theirs. So who knows what'll happen on the with the nuclears. Let's see, biological, we've already went over that in my last video. They've already released something about a engineered superbug. And also I was posting to someone that wanted a link, but check out in your search engine, I use Yahoo, I don't use Google, but search the number of biological or microbiologists that have just suddenly died and went missing in the last 10-20 years. So you can expect some kind of biological event. Chemical, like I said, they're already spraying us like insects, so chemicals, done deal. As far as I'm concerned, could get worse. Nuclear's already in the atmosphere, could get worse. Biological, who knows if that's also in the chemtrails. And with that release for the engineered superbug and all the threats we've had. And don't forget Austria, if they hadn't used ferrets to inject that H1N1 inoculation, it killed them, or else that would have got out into the populace. They said it was an accident, but that I don't believe that. And other than that, that's stuff that's already, NBC's already a fact, and it could get much worse. These things are already there. So gas mask, essential, absolutely. If you don't have one, get one. Get extra filters. Even, there's a debate over whether they're too old or whatever. I mean, geez, it's better than nothing. The worst thing is to inhale radioactive dust or something like that. You don't want it on the inside, especially, because none of your preps really are going to matter very long after that. And you want to keep the chemicals out. Obviously, in the biological, if you can get away with it, just wear the netting, insect netting, mosquito netting. Then there was another thing about being mobile. That's what all your physical fitness is for, a large part. Get fit to where you can move quick, but you don't want to be sprinting. Do your powerlifting, lift heavy, increase the amount of gear you can carry. That's important. The more gear you carry, the less you have to acquire or find or grow, whatever. And other than that, being mobile, being hostile, I want to look intimidating. I want to look like Darth Vader, or worse, a Sith juggernaut, hewn in Mordor. I mean, I don't want to be seen mainly by anybody. But if I am seen, I don't want to look like a gray man. I want to look like extremely intimidating, because the weak are going to be preyed on. That goes on today, so it's going to be worse in a bad situation. Mobile, hostile, the gray man videos I disagree with. You've seen them. When the poo hits the fan, I'm going to put my jeans on, my t-shirt with Gandhi on the front, and go to my fridge, get a beer, pop a top, walk out the front door, down the street to the end of the cul-de-sac where the patch of woods is, join in with my neighbors in the circle jerk, roasting marshmallows for a few days till society reboots. After a few days, I go home, get out the hydroponics book, and rebuild. Yeah, right. That's not me, son. I don't think it's going to go down like that. You want to be intimidating. Unseen, but if you're seen, you want to look like something that nobody wants to mess with. So anyway, I just wanted to put the caboose on that last video. This is finishing that up, and then, like I said, the mental and spiritual poisoning and all that I'll get to later. Anyway, give me feedback if I need it. If you think I need it, correct me. And let me know if there's anything else I can add, if you got any questions. And again, y'all have a good one, man. Northwest Florida out.